We've got a great speaker for today. Let me give her the proper introduction. She is a 9-star diamond. She's been coaching for over 6 years already. I can't believe that. I remember when she started. She's part of our Legacy Club. If you don't know what Legacy is, it's accumulation of over $1 million in earnings. That is an accumulation. So she has hit that milestone of $1 million. That's our Legacy Club. She's also hit the rank of elite 4 times, our highest rank. And Success Club, if you're new to coaching, Success Club is the foundation of your business. That's helping at least 3 new people every single month get into a challenge group, a challenge pack, but really getting into a total solution. She's been doing that 80 months in a row. Okay, so from Saskatchewan, Canada, I just love saying that. Please welcome Morgan Rieger. Hi, Morgan.
Hi, Sandy. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Did Carl get you fired up to move forward?
It's a gift, that's for sure.
Okay, so 6.5 years ago, you started Beachbody. People may not know you. There are a lot of people joining in today for the first time, which I'm very excited about because a lot of people don't get access to the live calls. But now people are home and they're able to watch and listen. So why don't you go ahead and share what brought you here?
Yeah, so my first introduction to Beachbody was actually way back 15 plus years ago. I was in grade 8. I've got 3 sisters, and my older sister decided to order Turbo Jam off of the TV. And that was DVDs back then. And I would see her doing those workouts, and they honestly just looked like a lot of fun. So as sisters, you're not necessarily allowed to take your sister's stuff. So when she wasn't home, I would actually do those workouts. And it wasn't about the workouts or losing weight or anything like that. It was just fun. And throughout the rest of high school, me and my 2 really close girlfriends, we actually, fell in love with Chalene Johnson. And we would kind of take turns when Turbo Fire came out or when Chalene Extreme came out. One of us would buy it and we kind of share the DVDs. And I remember back then, all of us were always just like, I wonder what those girls in the videos do for jobs. Like, they must have the best jobs ever. And come to find out 15 years later, they're coaches. So after high school, I moved away to university, fell in love with the gym, fell in love with classes, still did at-home workouts here and there. Got a Bachelor of Science degree in biology and a Bachelor of Education degree. So I was going to be a high school biology and chemistry teacher. So decided to move back home, move back in with my parents, take my first full-time teaching position. And this is when I got my introduction to coaching. So I was about to start my first full-time teaching position. And as teachers know, you don't have a lot of extra time on your hands. So I decided, okay, what's going to help keep me on track during this busy time? And I'm like, like an at-home workout. That's cool. I'm not going to have time for the gym. So I decided to go online. I really enjoyed lifting weights at the time. So I decided to order Body Beast, and I came across the Become a Coach tab online. I didn't know anybody who was a coach. Nobody invited me. I wasn't really on social media. So I told Steven, my fiance, about it, and he said, well, Morgs, like this, you should sign up. This sounds like something you'd be really good at. You wanted a career in fitness. And I'm not the best decision maker, so I didn't sign up, but I kept telling him about it for about a week. And he said, Morgs, like, if you don't sign up, I'm going to sign you up because you're being annoying. So I decided to sign up, and I actually learned about Shakeology afterwards. So I signed up for the maximum dollar amount you can possibly sign up for. I bought a fitness program with DVDs at the time. Then I paid the coach sign-up fee. Then I purchased Shakeology. But again, I didn't know a coach, or nobody was helping me out. And during that sign-up process, there's that little spot that says, like, who's your coach? And I didn't think that really mattered. So I did a quick Google search. I found a name and I punched it in. I didn't know who this person looked like, nothing at all. Punched it in, didn't think it would matter. Sent them a Facebook message afterwards, and it said, hey, I think I became a coach. Like, what do I do? And she sent me a quick video to watch, and she said, okay, let's jump on the phone quick together. And our phone call was about 3, maybe 4 minutes long, because she asked me, what are your goals with all of this? And I said, I don't really know. Like, what is this? So she probably thought she was going to get a cancellation email from me, but she sent me a new coach training. I began to work through it and I fell in love. It lit a newfound passion and fire. I wanted to get up early and stay up late. And I fell in love with it after I actually started to understand what it was. And that was almost 7 years ago now.
I can't believe how many coaches right now are going, darn, I wish I had found her, because wow, you kind of stumbled on Beachbody while other people are trying so hard to attract people. You just kind of stumbled on it. So there's so many diamonds in the rough. And I love that the whole time we're going to be watching you today, we can see an affirmation behind you. Be bold, brave, and brilliant. So thank you for that storytelling. Now let's go move into the topic. And I want to share a little bit about this topic because so many new coaches are coming on board and signing up, and they may not understand our vital behaviors. And I was telling Morgan that, how long it took, I'm sure, the Nike marketing department to come up with just do it, right? There's so many sayings, and we got to do this, we got to do this. And then you simplify, simplify, simplify. The vital behaviors used to be 10 vital behaviors. Okay. And it went down to 4 vital behaviors because those are the foundational pieces of your business. But Morgan is going to take us into the why behind the vital behaviors. So, I want to just go into some question and answer today with you. Why do you think that the topic of the vital behaviors is so important for new coaches and veteran coaches, but especially now where we're at?
Yeah. So as Carl mentioned, we have a lot of new coaches signing up right now, which is amazing. But sometimes as a new coach or even as a veteran coach, we're told, just show up. Just show up consistently and do the vitals, or just show up and do your tracker. But as a new coach, you're like, okay, but like, what does that actually mean? Or how do I do those? So sometimes we look to successful coaches and we're like, okay, well, what are they doing? How are they showing up? And we see them posting on social media, which is great. That's part of it. But we think, okay, that's how they're showing up. So that's what I need to do. So the first thing as new coaches we go to is we're posting on social media. And then we come to find we're like, shoot, why is this not working? Or why am I not finding people to help? When actually these successful coaches, what they're doing to grow their businesses is behind the scenes. They're doing the vital behaviors, which most of them are behind the scenes. So that's kind of my hope with this call, is that number one, after we're done, you feel like a weight is off your chest. You're like, okay, this is way simpler than I thought. Like, I actually understand what I'm supposed to do behind the scenes, and I can totally do this every day. So I want to explain, what even are these vital behaviors and why are they important? Number two, like, how do I actually do them every day? And then, of course, number three is duplication. Like, how can I inspire and motivate my team, my coaches, to do these as well?
I'm looking for the button again. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so I appreciate you sharing that as a beginning to the topic. Now, let's talk about why the vitals are important to you and how you're able to inspire others. The reason why, I mean, I want to make certain everybody knows what the vitals are. You can recite them, but why the vitals are important and how you're able to communicate that is a whole other dimension. So take it away.
Right. Yeah. So when I think to, okay, what inspires me? What motivates me? And yeah, it's seeing successful coaches and what they're doing, but more importantly, it's how they got started. I love to see, oh, like, this is where you started from. This is your baseline, and this is how you got to where you are now. So before we dive into the actual vitals, I I wanted to show you guys how I started doing the vital behaviors behind the scenes every day. And it was with these two things. So a day planner and a binder. I took these two things everywhere, along with either a phone or a computer. And that's how I ran my business for the first many years, and even still to this day, kind of like this. A day planner where I was able to, this is how fancy it is, plan out all my challenge group start dates, my coach mentorship start dates. Everything was in that day planner. And then I had this binder that went with me everywhere as well. At the start, I had an everyday to-do list, because back then we did not have a success system tracker. We had to make our own to-do list. So I actually got this from a video that was on YouTube by a coach that said the 10 things I do in my Beachbody coaching business every day. So I made my own list. And then what I basically did, I had all my goals listed out every single month. And then this fancy system is how I brainstormed who I was going to invite, how I kept track of conversations and contacts. I had a tab for my challenge groups, my challengers. I was kind of checking them off as they would post. I had a tab for my coaches. I had a tab for my income so I could see it growing and totaling up the months. And then I had a tab for my expenses. And really, the day planner and the binder and either my phone or my laptop was how I did the vital behaviors every single day at 5 a.m. And, I told myself from the start, okay, I'm going to do this every day for 5 years. And the reason I always said 5 years was because I went to university, paid a lot of money to perfect my craft and get my career. So I thought, you know what, I invested a couple $100s into Beachbody. Like, I need to at least give this my full effort for 5 years and see where it takes me. So that's how I did the vital behaviors off the start.
Now, you still have that pink binder, I see, and I love the color. And do you keep it just for posterity, or do you go back to it?
Mainly, yeah. I love showing it to my new coaches. And I feel like after I do, they're like, oh, that's a lot simpler than I was making it out to be. Okay, I can do this too.
Okay, well, sales of planners and binders just went up because of you. I think that it's still the pen and paper that works really well. You feel very productive when you cross out things, I'm sure. Okay, so, and what's funny too is everything that you were tracking 5 years ago is still what you track today.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Um, okay, we're going to go into the vital behaviors, because the first one is be proof the products work. And you and I talked about this a few days ago, that so many companies have this, be proof, use our products. Why is this the number one behavior of a Team Beachbody coach? And why is the word proof the most important word?
Yeah, so we could easily say, use our products. But instead we say be proof the products work. And like you said, that proof word is so important because it means you have to have a story with it. You need to understand, okay, what did this product do for me? And when I was a new coach, I had never heard of Shakeology, never tried it, didn't understand it. So what I actually did was I decided not to work out for a month. That first month, I only decided to use Shakeology because personally I thought, okay, I wasn't that big into supplements or nutritionals, but I was like, okay, if I'm going to represent this product, I need to be proof of it. I need to understand what it's done for me. And I didn't think it was even going to do much, but that month I felt better and got better results than I had with any other workout I had done in the past. And then when it came to the workouts, as a new coach, I had done them, but I had never done one from start to finish ever. So when I ordered that Body Beast program, I decided, okay, I'm going to do this 90-day program. I'm also going to do my first 3 months being a full-time teacher. And I'm also going to do my first 3 months of coaching all at the exact same time. And it was busy, but something clicked at that point. When I was thriving in my own personal journey, my business ended up thriving. And I noticed that over these past almost 7 years, when I'm kind of not doing that great in my own personal journey, my business doesn't tend to do that good. But when I kind of pick it up in being proof of the product's work, my business tends to thrive. So over these past 6.5, 7 years, that's basically what I've been doing, is being proof the product's work in an imperfect way.
I am still here. I am just trying to find my cursor. Um, yes, and you know what? The whole word proof, like you could become a retailer and you could just use the products. That is different than being proof the products work. Thank you so much for sharing that and for letting coaches know that that is the pivotal word in that vital behavior. I do want to ask you though, because we do. Do you talk more about bod plus Shakeology? A lot of people just talk about getting into Beachbody on Demand and here's your nutritional shake and that's it, done deal, nothing more to expand on. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I definitely expand outside of Beachbody on Demand and Shakeology. And my first kind of like experience of that was postpartum. So I worked out my entire pregnancy. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna bounce back, no problem. I had to set my ego aside. I actually ended up having mastitis about 4 times. I was on 3 rounds of antibiotics all through those first 2 months. So I did not work out one bit for 2 whole months. In fact, I was in better shape at like 2 days postpartum than I was at 2 months postpartum. But this was also a time where my business actually grew and thrived because I got to share my journey more with To Be Mindset, with Shakeology, with Hydrate, that I was really relying on a lot for nursing. And that was kind of a pivotal moment for me because I also started to develop really unique ways to use our other products. So I love using our products, Recover, Recharge, everything in their traditional sense. But I also found that, I was paying attention. I'm like, the products that I love to use, whether they're Beachbody or not, or that I consistently get and want to use forever. They're products that I use in the traditional way, but I also have found fun, unique ways to use them. And I was finding the more I use them that way, the more I love them, the more I shared that with my coaches and customers, the more they love them, the more our retention went up. So I'll give you a few examples. So I love making healthy homemade protein chocolate. I make it almost every evening. It's made with Recover and Recharge. And I actually just like went live on Instagram with it and then uploaded the video to YouTube so I could share it with people. I love making Recover coffee. And then this one is one I've shared a lot. I always, you need that afternoon pick me up, and I always used to do a coffee. So I started sharing with my challenge group what I was doing rather than having a coffee, which kind of makes me crash afterwards and dehydrates me. What I tried was I filled up a big shaker bottle with ice and water and put in half a scoop of Energize. And it was like the best afternoon pick me up ever because I got rehydrated, plus gave me that little boost I needed. And one other one I love to do, and I got this from a coach on our team, another afternoon pick me up if I need it. And Steven likes this one. I get a really cold glass of water and I put in a scoop of greens because I'm usually lacking those. And then a half a scoop of Energize, stir it up. It tastes pretty good. And then just shoot it back. And again, it just makes me feel so good. And it's such a good afternoon pick me up. So I love to use the products that way in a unique way. And kind of same with Beachbody on Demand. I do workouts start to finish, but I love Beachbody on Demand more when I can kind of find hidden gems. And I share that with my coaches and customers too. Things like the Yin Yoga by Ted under the yoga studio is one of my favorite lower body stretches. Under Chalene Extreme, the Recharge workout, again, is one of my favorite recovery workouts. And some more of my favorite workouts that some people don't know about are under PiYo. If you scroll to the very bottom, the PiYo workouts by the master trainers are so amazing. So I kind of look at it like, you look at the top people in network marketing organizations, and they're not the salesy, they're not the salesy, slimy people. Those people don't make it far, and we know that. But the people that are at the top of network marketing organizations are the people that you almost don't even know this is what they're doing, because it seamlessly weaves in, and so weaves into their life so naturally. And I think finding kind of unique ways to use our products is how I do that with my life. So yeah.
Okay, I'm back. I know how to work this thing now. It's only been 10 years. So okay, that was be proof the products work. Okay, number two, the second vital behavior, it used to be invite, 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 right? And it was like, if you didn't invite the first time, invite the second time, invite the third time. It was like invite, we were trying to hit the point home. But we noticed that just inviting was not enough. There was something missing in the equation. Can you talk about the value in connecting first and following up after?
Yeah. So connect, invite, follow up. So I had this conversation with one of my new coaches a couple weeks ago, and she said, "Morgs, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not seeing the results I want to see." So I said, "Okay, like talk to me about your tracker. What are you doing? What aren't you doing?" And she said, she's like, "Okay, so I'm really good at doing the top part, my workout, my Shakeology, etc. And I'm really good at doing the bottom part, which is, contribute to my challenge group, personal development." She's like, "But I'm not very good at the middle." And the middle is this vital behavior. And this vital behavior is the main business activity that's going to grow our business. So I explained to her, this is like wanting the results from Morning Meltdown 100 without actually doing the workouts. You can't expect to get the results without putting in the work through those workouts. Same with the business. You can't expect to get the results from the business without doing the middle portion of this tracker, the main part of this business. So we were talking more and more, and it came down to her kind of having the same 4 fears that I had when I started, when it came to connecting, inviting, following up. And I'll share those with you. But when I got over those 4 fears, and when she did too, connecting, inviting, following up came so much more natural. I didn't need scripts, nothing. Like I just felt so much more comfortable doing it. And you might have these fears too. So the first one was, what if I can't find anybody? Right? What I realized was, in order for an invite to work, there were 4 parts. So the first part was connecting. I actually had to connect and get to know a person. Number 2 was the actual invite or the call to action. Number 3 was social proof, because most often if we invite somebody or start talking to them, they're going to go back to our social media page to learn more about us, to see proof of what we're actually talking about. And the last piece was obviously the follow-up. And when I started incorporating those 4 pieces of an invite, my invites, not all of them worked, but actually more started to work. And then the second fear I had was, I did not want to come across as an expert. I had never been in a challenge group. I had never even completed a program. So it didn't feel authentic to me to say my challenge group or my mentorship. So off the start, I would usually do an invite like this. It would say something like, "Hey, Kirsten, I just have not been feeling like myself. My energy isn't great. My confidence isn't great. So I said, enough is enough. I'm starting a 60-day at-home workout program because I'm not going to have time for the gym as a new teacher. Do you want to do this together so we can hold each other accountable?" That was an invite that felt way more authentic to me, that didn't put me in an expert position that I wasn't comfortable with. The third fear I have was not having anything to invite to. And this is where my day planner saved me all the time. So I would plan out months in advance. Okay, when is my challenge group start date? Okay. Then I would backtrack it to about 2 weeks, because I knew it would take me about 2 weeks to have conversations with people and help them get set up. Okay. So that's when I'd start inviting. And I'd backtrack that even another week to know when I had to make my brainstorming list or my brain dump list, because I brain dumped a list of names every single month that I was going to invite. So I planned out the same kind of thing for new coach mentorships or new coach trainings, but then it totally took the stress off. I wasn't stressed to invite anymore because I had a plan every single month, and it just took that weight off my chest. And then the last fear I had about connecting, inviting, and following up was, what do I say if they're interested? I found I wasn't inviting because I was kind of afraid they'd say no, but not so much that, more so, what if they say yes? Like, what do I actually say? So I want to take you through kind of my flow, and give or take, this is what almost all of my conversations look like. So whether we connected on a poll or a post, or we're talking somehow and they want more information. So usually they say, okay, can I have more info? I usually say, do you want me to send you over a 30-minute super sweaty sample workout so you can see if you like it? That's how I started off. And they say yes or no. Usually say yes. And I say, okay, great. Message me as soon as you try it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay. After that, I usually have to follow up with them because they'll forget to message me. So say it's bar. I sent them a bar workout and they're like, yes, I loved it. So I'll say, awesome. Like, do you want to do the 6-week program with us? And they'll say yes or no. And if they say yes, I say, perfect. I can send you over a photo with our package options, let you know which one I got. Just give me the go ahead if you want me to send that over. And they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, I send over that photo with our package options and I say, perfect. I personally got the deluxe one, but honestly, any option is phenomenal. Is there a certain one that you feel is best for you? They'll pick one. And then I usually say, okay, great. I have a few questions to send you before I get this set up for you and get you my welcome email and into our support group. Just give me the go ahead and I'll send those questions over. So those are ones for like flavor, name, email, all that stuff. And then from there, I make them a share cart. I send them my welcome email. I get them in our group and I just give them the best experience possible. So I found, and same with that coach I was talking to, once we got over those 4 fears, it was like, okay, connecting, inviting, following up. I don't need scripts. It comes way more natural. So that's how I love to view that second vital behavior, Sandy.
And the fear is just what you're putting in your head. I mean, because once you just kind of deconstruct it, like everybody is saying on Facebook right now, you're making it sound very, very simple. You've like deconstructed it. I love that. Let's move on. The third vital behavior of a Team Beachbody coach is about getting people results. Now, you and I also talked about this. We are a company that prides itself on helping people change their lives. So, how important is it for you to help people get a result, whether physical, financial, nutritional, community? You know, what expectations do you set for people and how are you able to meet or exceed them?
Yeah. So I truly feel like our job is to give people the best experience possible. You know, we're not the fitness expert. We're not the nutrition expert. Our job is to help them have the best experience possible. So after, you know, I got them that welcome email or get them in our group, that kind of thing, what I love to do is send them a couple videos, and I just have it on a playlist on my YouTube. So I love to send them a video of how to use your Beachbody on demand. So literally it's me screen recording my laptop or my TV on my phone, explaining how to use Beachbody on demand, how to do the music amped up option, because I love that, how to find those hidden gem workouts, like I mentioned. And then I have another video of me just in my kitchen with my daughter, explaining how I make my nutritionals, how I make my supplements, again, sharing those kind of unique ways I also use them. A third video I have is a screen share on my iPhone. If you didn't know, you can screen share on your phone. I go through how I do personal development, because that's a big part of my challenge groups for me. It's been vital for me. So I almost require it of my challengers and coaches to get a book or start listening to podcasts, but a lot of people have never done it like I was. So I do a screen share and I go through and I go to my Amazon app. I show them where I get most of my books. I go to the books app on my phone, show them how I get them there. I go to my podcasts, show them how to access podcasts and the top ones I recommend. And then I also share about the library option. because a lot of people don't realize their local library, if they don't want to pay for books, they could rent out books, or a lot of local libraries do audiobooks now. So I also share that option with them. And then I just encourage them to ask a ton of questions. Make sure they message me when their package comes in so we can go over anything they're not sure about. And I also wanted to show you one thing I started doing, which I love. For every new customer and coach, I send them a letter in the mail. And some of you might do this already. It's kind of been a little newer to me, but it's been such a good change. I wanted to share it with you. So on Black Friday, Vistaprint was having a great sale. So this was super inexpensive, but you can just write it on a plain note card. I made a little note card, and at the bottom it just says, "We are limitless," my team name. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. Little logo on the back. Kind of just did a mailing label, etc. And then what I include is a little packet of Energize and a little typed up blurb of how I make my Energize. And again, that little afternoon pick me up trick. And I send that off, and it's just that extra personal touch to, again, help people have the best experience possible. And one little last tip I use in this vital behavior, I started doing this a long time ago, but whenever somebody sends me a message in words that is kind of like just praise, something like, "Morgs, I did that bar sample workout and it was so much harder than I thought." Or, "Morgs, I'm on day 97 of Morning Meltdown 100. Like, I've got 3 days left. I can't believe how much better I feel." I screenshot all of those and I share them to my story on Instagram. I always usually white out the face, but I share all of them on Instagram, and the people who sent them to me are so happy that I'm sharing their success, even if it's we don't know it's them, but they're so happy that I shared that. And it's actually done wonders for attraction marketing as well, because other people can relate to those stories as well. So that is how I like to do vital behavior number 3, get people.
Well, it sounds like, Morgs, that you are not only proof the products work, but proof that you're getting people results. So that's a really interesting tactic. I want to move on to the last vital behavior of a Team Beachbody coach, because we have a purpose statement at corporate, which is to always be improving, always be innovating. And I know that the last one is about personal development, which I would love it if we called it mindset development, because people feel as though personal development is little new agey. But can you talk a little bit about how personal development, you enforced it and you became a believer in its importance to your overall success?
Yeah. So this piece is really big for me. This is the piece that made me feel like a successful coach right from the start. I didn't even know what the words personal development meant. I didn't know about this world. Beachbody coaching introduced me to it, and it was the missing piece that I actually didn't even know I was missing. I remember the very first book I read, I saw a coach, her name was Mindy Lawhorn. She put up a post with a book, and it was called Start by John Acuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what this personal development thing is. Nobody's even giving me book recommendations. So I see this book, I'm going to get it. I read it, and everything changed after that. I decided, because I signed up in 2013, I decided in 2014, I was going to read 24 books that year. I put that goal out there publicly. I put out my list of 24 books, and that was a really transformative year for me. And one thing I did as I did that year, I started doing these things called Messages from Morgan. It was just Facebook at that time. So they were live videos on Facebook. So after each of my workouts, I did like a 10-minute cool down walk around our little neighborhood. But we had this gravel road that I knew once I started it to the end was about 4 minutes. So that was the perfect amount of time for a video. So I would get on live every day, Messages from Morgan, and I would share kind of my personal development takeaways. And it helped me understand what I was reading and listening to better, but it really started to portray the importance of personal development to my coaches, my challengers, and my prospects. And they were, it just put it out there that, okay, it's not all about workouts. And then a couple other things I do to make sure this vital behavior is at the forefront of people's mind is in my welcome emails to all my customers and coaches, I have a book recommendation, more of a requirement than a recommendation. And depending on what books have been coming out at the time, I'll change it up. But right now, for customers and coaches, I'm recommending Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo. And then for more advanced coaches, I love to encourage them to get Build to Last by Keith Callahan. But I'll have that recommendation or requirement in my email. And again, I'll also have a screen share video explaining where I get my book, how I listen to podcasts, check your local library, because I think when I was a new coach, I didn't know how to do any of these things. I needed a little more guidance. And I do the same thing in the free resources I send people. So I'm sure you guys do this too. If somebody says no, or they're not interested right now, we often say, okay, like, do you want me to send you some free workouts? And we didn't have this back then because we had DVDs. So I love this option now. But not only do I send them free workouts, I send them my top book recommendation. I send them my top podcast recommendation. I make sure to give them Ilana's Instagram handle to learn more about nutrition. And I also send them that screen share video where I walk through where I get books from, how I listen to podcasts, check your local library. So it does go back to that piece of helping people get the best experience possible, even if I'm just building that relationship with free resources to help them hopefully down the road. And then I think the last thing I do in this vital behavior is just the way I speak about it on my social media, to my coaches, to my challengers, to my prospects. In my posts, I always talk about my personal order of importance. And number one is always personal development. I rather get you reading a book than I will get you on a workout sometimes off the start. So personal development is number one for me. Number two is accountability through our groups, through me being your coach. Number three is nutrition. And lastly is workouts. Because I tell people, if you can transform from here up, the transformation from here down is going to come so much more naturally and easily. Like I don't want you to just focus on here down because it's not going to last, right? If you're not fixing from here up, you're going to do this for 21 days and you're probably going to throw in the towel. So that's how I make sure to do that final vital behavior.
I think there's two things that matter most in your journey. It's drinking water and it's helping your mindset. If you don't have the mindset first, none of these things are going to work for you. I love that you deconstructed the vital behaviors. I love it. And you did it in a way that it was so great. I'm sure everybody's going to listen to this call again. And I do want to mention on the Champions page, for those of you that are not on the Champions page, that's Beachbody Champions page on Facebook, there's going to be a live action hour taking people through the Success Club tracker. So I just want to add that in before people hang up. And I do want to get to your fulfilling, rewarding close of this call. Morgan, what has it been like for you coaching these last 6.5 years?
Yeah, this is definitely a timely question with everything going on right now. Obviously, I did used to be a full-time teacher, and after a few years, I was able to surpass my teaching income. So I decided to step away from teaching and help Stephen at our franchise store full-time. So I worked full-time there as well as coaching here and there for the next many years. And then when we had our daughter, I stay home mostly with her and do coaching, helping out at the store every year now and then. But for the past 3 weeks, our store has been closed due to, again, what's going on. And because of this business, because of the hard work I put in for almost 7 years doing the vital behaviors on mornings. I did want to do it, but also mornings I didn't want to do it. Because of this company, because of that consistency and hard work with the vitals, our family's okay. You know, we're more than okay. Our business is actually growing incredibly and thriving, and our team is growing. And I think I love this business now almost more than I ever have. And it's just, it's it's been a blessing right now with what we're going through.
Wow, thank you so much, Morgan. You brought a tear to my eye. I'm so, so glad that you're here, and congratulations for your success in this business. And don't forget to be bold, brave, and brilliant every single day, right?
Thanks, Sam. Thank you for even thinking of me for the call. I really appreciate it.
I am really happy I put you on the call. It's a great topic, and I think that a lot of people are going to go back and listen the way that you just so eloquently, dissected the vital behaviors, their purpose, their why, their importance, and how they've moved your business forward. Thanks, Morgan, so much. Have a great week. I'm going to end the call with I started the call talking about people that are feeling as though there's no end in sight. And then Carl talked about, we're living in these times. It's like all these words that we say to ourselves, which, remember, this is our mindset, is how we create our destiny. So I have someday is right now. Let me do it with my beautiful nails. Someday is right now, because I think that what we keep talking about is, I will do that. I will get to it when this is all over. And this is our reality. This is our life. We can be stressed or we can feel blessed. And like Morgan just said, she's feeling more blessed than ever. So with that, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful week. See you at Super Weekend this Saturday, a virtual Super Weekend. And I'll see you here next week on Monday. Bye-bye.